This is the greatest thing I've ever experienced.
You had the potential of a lifetime, and you are squandering it.
I will invade England and defeat the English on their own ground.
I never laid a hand on her. She was just a kid.
Tomorrow, we'll eat supper in the gardens of Troy.
She's angry because I didn't tell her I was coming here.
Now, want to hear the good news or the bad news first?
He's probably in his room with his current girlfriend, Charlie.
This is the way women and men have behaved since the beginning.
He's the youngest chef ever to achieve a 5-star rating.
And I don't need to spend the next 4 years of my life trying to figure out who I am.
Mindy was gonna keep wearing the mask, as long as there were criminals to take down.
Before my time is done, I will look down on your corpse and smile. You will be among the first to walk in the streets of Troy tomorrow.
I have absolutely no idea what I'm going to do with the rest of my life.
My grandson might be spending the next 4 years listening to you.
No one at school found out because she hacked into the server.
He's the biggest man I've ever seen. I wouldn't want to fight him.
Mindy, what you did to those girls at school was unacceptable.
We haven't exactly been living the most exciting lives in the world.
See, I should have stayed in college and gotten a degree in astronomy or something, right?
He still has to believe she has good reason to blackmail him.
I just have to put myself into a kind of training program to learn how to be a human being.
Nancy told me she spoke to Matt at judo class, and she's going to ask him out on a date.
Me and him were sheriffs at the same time, him up in Plano and me out here.
Someone's going to be calling in the vehicle number on the inspection plate of my truck.
Paper said it was a crime of passion, but he told me there wasn't any passion to it.
I'm sending one of your cousins down to King's Landing with my peace terms.
You have no one at your side who understands the land you want to rule.
A person's heart and a person's feelings are very different than skates.
I was just wondering if one of them had a bike seat that I could borrow, but...
She is the largest moving object ever made by the hand of man in all history.
Tell me that that is not the finest wine that has ever touched your tongue.
Go out there and you're gonna send the Marines back in here to get us. Okay? Promise me.
If we tell anyone, if anyone sees him, they'll take him away from us, all right?
Your system is supposed to cut the cost of purifying our water by half, right?
When boys and girls live in the same home, awkward situations can arise.
Well, for starters, you have to purify yourself in the waters of Lake Minnetonka.
And what could be more important than purifying the water that your family drinks?
When I was a kid and I got scared, the Rain Man would come and sing to me.
Given the nature of our indigenous population, I would suggest clothes.
When we get inside his mind, we're gonna have to work with what we find. You never really remember the beginning of a dream, do you?
This is the best tool we have today of measuring a person's intelligence.
This woman he's dating is making him take this IQ test for this course.
Tell Castlebeck he's not going to believe who just walked into the Quality Cafe.
I went to my friend for the money because that's who I wanted to be partners with.
Unfortunately, I will not be here to see this new settlement grow and thrive.
He's going back out there. Wanted to know if you wanted to go with him.
If you're referring to the incident with the dragon, I was barely involved.
Whatever you did, you've been officially labeled a disturber of the peace.
I assure you, I will bear no ill feelings towards that person. I'll reassign you to regular duty.
There won't be any way of knowing any bit of the truth pertaining to my situation.
It's probably in military intelligence. That's why I was trained in Russian. Mob wouldn't have the guts or the power for something of this magnitude.
There's just this big empty spot in the bed where my husband usually sleeps.
That's a very tender notion, but the man is on death row for the crime.
He has committed himself to doing everything in his power to prevent it.
I get sick when I fly because I'm afraid of crashing into a large mountain.
If we work at it, we could get Dawson charged with the Kennedy assassination.
That was the single most thrilling experience of my whole life. They said you didn't have enough experience to be Walden's running mate.
So, we will be removing 1,000 gallons of methylamine from the tanker car.
You haven't talked to a witness or looked at a piece of paper.
We'll make some kind of announcement as soon as possible.
We need to make sure that there's nothing in the image that links to your studio. He avoided manslaughter charges by pleading guilty to armed robbery.
This is where Petrov and I smoked cigars during the summit.
I'm sure you can understand they wanted to consult with legal counsel first.
We were concentrating on this area, but it looks like they're closer to here.
The government have charged him with treason for working with the rebels.
Let's see how the phone call goes, and then we'll decide if we're going to move.
Believe me, Professor, I've been asking myself the same question for 6 years.
If she was delivering that to Professor Dumbledore, she wasn't doing it knowingly.
A Horcrux is an object in which a person has concealed part of their soul.
Perhaps Potter and his friends were simply in the wrong place at the wrong time.
You, on the other hand, have no business wandering the corridors at this time of night.
We were heading back to the common room when we found Mrs. Norris.
The owl that delivered my release papers got all lost and confused.
I could only imagine what an awful loss that would be to the school. I simply called at the school and was told the headmaster was here.
He was on the astronomy tower the night Snape killed Dumbledore.
He then greeted death as an old friend and went with him gladly. That's exactly why he'll expect you to go, because it means something to you. He asked for something that would allow him to go forth from that place.
Help will always be given at Hogwarts to those who deserve it.
In the Chamber of Secrets, you stabbed the basilisk with the sword of Gryffindor.
There's this boy I sent to the electric chair at Huntsville here a while back.
This account will give up $1,200 in any 24-hour period.
I haven't seen you for nearly 20 years, and you come asking me for transit papers.
My father put me in charge of all the drains and cisterns in Casterly Rock.
If my dragons are in the House of the Undying, then take me there.
He told me he woke with fear in the morning and went to bed with fear in the night.
I expect you'd be the first Crabber's son to wear the badge.
My dear nephew, you do see these men preparing the walls for siege.
I would not waste my years planning dances and masquerades with the other noble ladies.
The men will fight more fiercely seeing the king fighting beside them.
Why don't I just set you down right here and we won't argue about it?
The Sorcerer's Stone is a legendary substance with astonishing powers.
We're all traveling through time together, every day of our lives. All we can do is do our best to relish this remarkable ride.